What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Fields and Friends podcast. And today I have with me here Mr. Abeng Magnusma. He's one of my closest friends and is also the manager of West Coast Maize Eating Now. He's a student, he's a farmer, he's a farm manager, and he has a lot of how do you call it, abilities under his belt. He has a lot of things he can do. So today he's going to be, the main discussion of today is that he's going to be telling us about his experience while cultivating maize for the cooperative, cultivating maize for him to sell, and even cultivating maize for his own consumption. So we're just going to go around that discussion of what to do when you want to cultivate maize, how to handle pest and disease issues, how to market the maize, and everything that has to do with maize. So, Magnus, how are you today?
I'm okay, Mr. Tiller.
So, the first question I want to ask is, what made you become a farmer? What was the drive into becoming a farmer?
Um, I would say that I came from a farming background, but again, when schooling, I always had a passion of doing engineering. But again, with our context of our country, sometimes when we are done with the engineering stuff, we don't really have jobs somehow. But now with farming, you know that even if you're done, you have something that you can do which serve as a bank somehow. So that was what pushed me to go into agriculture.
And how has it been so far?
Well, I would say it is very, very good because it is helping me a lot. And like you made mention in your introduction that I'm a student, and it's
Yes.
actually the agricultural part, like I said, a bank that is controlling that sector now, paying the school fees and everything.
Wow. That means there's nothing like you're getting some money from some external source. Everything is solely your own income is being produced by you. You generate your own income.
Yes, I actually generate my own income.
Okay, so let me see. When you want to produce maize, what are the first things you need to take into consideration?
Well, as far as agriculture is concerned, so far as you want to go into production, of course, the first thing is, well, they always say that you sell before you produce. First of all, you need to have a market before you produce. Secondly, you need to have a good seed because a bad seed and a good land leads to problem.
Yes.
And of course, you need to have an idea of the crop. So I think those three things play a very important role. And of course, like when I talk about an idea, like maybe the topography of the land, in simple grammar, how the land looks like, meaning it should be a good land, it should not be like rocky, yes, stuff like that. So
But I'm also an agriculturalist, so
yeah.
can you not plant maize in maybe rocky area or something?
You can, but now planting in rocky areas, of course, at that stage now, you need to use more of fertilizer.
Okay.
Yes, depending to like in places like Idina where we cultivate, there are some areas in which are stony,
Yes.
and we do plant on the stones because it has a bit of soil.
Yes.
But now the thing is that when you plant there, you need to at least give it more fertilizer if you're to really, you really want to get something from it. Though it acts as an advantage too.
Yes.
Especially in the rainy season.
Yeah.
Because when rain gets to fall too much and the soil becomes waterlogged, right? You know that your maize, they cannot breathe. There's no fluctuation of oxygen,
Yeah,
so the
there's
maize
no
cannot do
respire,
well.
yes.
But now when it's on rocky soil, you know that the water can easily
Yes, it's
drainage,
easy.
and so that's one of the small advantages that you have planting on rocks, but I will not advise that is the best.
No, but I know people do plant on rocks.
Yeah.
People do plant on rocks. They don't do it in Cameroon, but I know people do plant on
Yeah.
rocks. So like let's take a maize area of about 1 hectare.
Yeah.
Because most of the times to calculate easy to do with a hectare of land. Now you have 1 hectare. You first of all said first thing you need to do is get quality seeds. Then you need to know the land, and you mention one other thing. Was it the climate?
I say you need to have an idea of what you want to
Okay.
go into.
Okay. So now let's say we're doing maize for consumption. Because you know there's maize for seeds, there's maize
Yeah,
for
seed
feed,
production.
and there's maize for feed, animal feed, and there's maize for human consumption, right?
I would say human consumption and feed fall under one class category.
Oh,
You
okay.
just have grains and you have maize for seed.
Okay, okay.
Yes, so put them like
Okay.
that.
Okay, let's say we're doing maize for feed.
Okay.
So first of all, let me go back to the seed.
Mhm.
Do you have a reliable source where you get your seeds from?
Yes, you have a
Or
reliance.
is there always a cooperative that
Well, we are also into seeds production.
Mhm.
But at times, like cultivating seed is not really that easy, because sometimes you will have your seed farm and the next farmer close to you is producing his maize, and you know what can happen. The cross pollination can get to
Yeah.
affect, or probably when you're treating, he's not treating and stuff like that. So at times we do face some difficulties that at that time we need to get seeds from outside. But at times we do produce our seeds in which we use and we market them.
Now, speaking of seed farms, to my best of my knowledge, I know seed farms are supposed to be isolated.
Yes,
So
normally.
is it that your
Well, industrialization, development is taking place. As
okay,
time is going by, people are felling forests, are going in, and you will never know. You can never say you're isolated.
okay, like the
Yes,
space in which the
yes,
isolation has to
yes, exactly,
yeah, is not enough because
exactly.
of the urbanization
Yes,
and
exactly,
okay.
exactly.
But how do you handle that? Is that you plant before those people come and plant, or
Well, I would say that I've been taken care of because we now have a new area which is really isolated for seed production.
and the seeds are good?
Yes, the seeds are good. Though we still do buy seeds.
Okay.
Though we still do buy seeds.
Okay, now let's go into the intricacies
Okay.
of maize production.
All right.
Now, what's the planting distance you use for maize production?
For my planting distance, I would say we, because now I'm like representing the cooperative.
Yes.
So we do use 80 by 50. So approximately, let's say in a hectare of land, it means if you're planting, let's say 2 per stand, that will give you roughly 50,000 stands in a hectare of land.
50,000 stands?
Yes, if you have to.
That's approximately how many tons of maize?
Normally, with our book when we were studying, I'm sure you studied that, we were told that in Cameroon, you get to make 3 tons per hectare, 4 tons per hectare.
That's based on the variety?
Based on the variety.
Okay.
Like varieties like Pana. You have Pana, you have CMS. Yes, those are good varieties. So you really get to have good yield. But I think for us, the yield we usually do have is between 2 to 3 tons per hectare. Yes, we have never reached 4. And especially with the climate change now, it's really an issue.
Okay, just run me through the production process of maize.
As far as production is concerned of maize, of course, the first thing is always like the itinerary.
Yeah.
Let's just say the itinerary. So you have, of course, you have to clear. You have to do spraying. So I'll just leave the activity and then maybe come and give some technical points. So we have clearing, we have spraying, we have pegging, you have planting, you have the application of fertilizer, you have the application of like spraying of insecticide, then you can do second application, then harvesting and marketing. So of course for the clearing, normally I'll use example of Idinal, what happens in Idinal. So in Idinal, normally they do clear a hectare at 35,000 francs. That's to clear a hectare down there. Yes. So now normally when you clear, what we do is that we leave it for 2 weeks so that the grass can want to sprout again. Then we come in now to do the spraying. And in spraying we get to use systemic chemicals,
Okay.
that is going the chemicals that kill from the roots, not just
Okay.
from the leaves.
Yes, yes. It is
So
as the chemical is being
yes,
absorbed by the.
and most of the times we do mix the systemic with 2,4-D.
What's that?
It's another chemical of itself. It acts
Ah,
like a
okay.
booster somehow. Let me put it that way. It
Okay.
boosts the systemic chemical.
Okay.
So we do that after 2 weeks. You
Yeah.
spray, and then after spraying, now the next thing we do is the lining, using the line to do the pegging of 80 by 50, in which now we do plant. Now after planting, we give the plant say 2 to 3 weeks, in which after that we get to apply either urea or the NPK.
Okay.
And of course, most of the times the one we have now is NPK 20-10-10.
Yes.
Yes, and from what we buy, the price at which we buy, I don't know if it's okay. The price at which we buy is we buy normally at 35,000. But
5,000.
yes,
Sir.
it's even small, because with the, I think, with the issue that happened in Ukraine, the price increased drastically and it went even to 50,000.
Yeah, yes.
So, but the fact that we were cooperative and we know we had where we could, so that's why we even getting at 35.
People used to buy, you buy in bulk.
Yes, we buy in bulk.
Okay.
Buy from 10 bags.
Okay.
Like you can buy 5 bags of urea, 5 bags of NPK, and we mix the two and we apply using the beer cup, and you apply in a ring format.
Around the maize.
Some like 5 centimeters from the maize, from the maize stand. So
why
that,
do you do that?
is this fertilizer, they are like salt, in which if you apply beside, it gets to burn the maize. So you apply it about 5 centimeters, you're going to cover, and then it does the job.
Okay, so then next, after that.
So after the application, normally you get to do what we call treatment. Let me say treatment. Like I say, application of insecticide. But that one, it only comes in if you have pests in your farm. Like for example, I think the most persistent pest we do have is stem borax. Though there are cases now in Idina from some farmers in which I've interviewed about snails. Yes, about snails doing their own job. But the most case we have, the most persistent has always been the stem borax, in which in doing so, we usually go for chemicals. Like we have porcelain, you have emacot.
By the way, he's calling those chemicals now. We are not being paid to advertise those chemicals. So yeah, it's just the chemicals that he uses in his farm.
In my farm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have porcelain, we have emacot, and I think the recent one in the market is caiman. So the thing is, it's not like they are different chemicals. It's just that we are interested in the active ingredients. That is emethyl benzoate, in which this stuff contains, in which is very, in which it works actively when on the stem borax. Yes, it gets to eliminate it effectively from your farm. So normally you can use a packet. I think it's about 100 grams.
Yes.
In a drum of water, in which you can get to apply. You can add maybe your foliar fertilizer in the mixture, maybe Good Harvest, Agrovet, depending on what you want to add, and then you spray your plant and you see the miracle work itself.
Okay. Yes, continue. Let's get to the end.
Then after that, now of course you'll be waiting for your harvesting.
You don't weed?
I think I did leave that out, the chemical weeding. Thank you very much. Yeah, we do have the chemical weeding. But again, the thing is, from my experience actually, normally when we do clear the farm and we spray, like I made mention of a chemical we use 2,4-D. Yes, most of the times it gets to kill the grass slowly in such a way that there are times that you can harvest even without doing chemical weeding.
For the second time?
Yeah, for the first harvest, when you're doing the first spraying.
Because you say you did chemical weeding when you...
No, use that spraying.
Okay, that's spraying.
That's spraying.
Okay, there's a difference between spraying and
And
chemical weeding.
chemical weeding is when your plants are already growing and then though
Uh-huh.
it's sprayed too,
Yes,
but now we call it chemical weeding because you know the plants are there and then
you're weeding
you're
now.
weeding because those
In
grasses now act as pests
okay,
to your crops. Yes, so
okay,
there's a
okay,
little bit of competition, so you have to take them out.
okay.
But from my experience, it shows that most of the times when we use the 2,4-D
Mm-hmm.
with any systemic, maybe
Yes.
glycol, maybe finish, yes, it gets to kill the grass slowly in such a way that there are times that the maize plant gets to even maturity when you don't
When we
find the
don't.
grass don't really get to affect them, in which at
Mm-hmm.
times you might not do the chemical weeding. But again, if you're to do the chemical weeding, of course, you get to use at that time contact fertilizers, contact chemicals, sorry, herbicides.
Contact.
Yes, contact. Like you have.
Why don't you use systemic?
At that time, we don't deem it necessary because you're almost getting to the stage of harvesting.
Okay,
So you just need something that can clean the farm.
okay.
Yes, it's not really because your plants are already grown.
Yeah.
So you just need something to clean the farm and then.
But from my knowledge, I know systemic are those chemicals that if you touch maybe a small part of the plant, is
Yeah.
going to penetrate into the whole plant and kill the plant in general.
Mm-hmm.
While maybe contact is the one that just touches, I think,
Anywhere it touches,
anywhere
it
it touches
kills.
it kills.
Just
Yeah.
that portion, yes.
So you use, is it that you use the contact because you don't want it to destroy the maize or something like that?
Not actually, not actually. It's because we find it, I would say, necessary and cheap as compared to systemic.
Okay.
Because like, permit me give some price ranges. Like for the
Mm-hmm.
systemic, if you are to go into, let me say, a liter
Mm-hmm.
of maybe finish or glycol or whatever,
Yeah.
you can get it for 4,000.
Mm-hmm.
But now with the contact herbicides of a liter, maybe let's say you have gramazone, maybe 2,4-tiobo,
Yeah.
you can have it for 2,500, 3,000. You see
Okay.
the price range is different,
Mm-hmm.
and it gets to do the same function
Okay.
in killing the grass. The only difference is that with the contact, when it kills the grass after maybe a month, it like fertilizes the soil in which the grass now grow again in excess. But you are doing chemical weeding with contact just because you are almost at the stage of harvesting your crops.
Okay.
Yes, so that's just it. And then from there now you do your harvesting.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, like I said, if you're doing the application of fertilizer, you use the beer cup, or you can use what we call supermon, the cup of
If
supermon.
someone, yeah.
Yeah, but I would prefer the beer cup, which is about 5 grams
Okay.
of
Of
the
the
yeah.
fertilizer.
Yes, and of course you know the use of the NPK. The nitrogen is for flowering, vegetative growth.
Mm-hmm.
You have the phosphorus, which aids in flowering, and the potassium, which aids in the corn itself.
Phosphorus, seed flowering.
Yes, aids in flowering.
Then okay. Then
The potassium,
nitrogen is vegetative growth.
of
Okay.
course, to help it have, because it becomes more greener,
Yeah.
it's
Yes.
able
Yes.
to attract more sunlight, chlorophyll to produce its
Wow.
food.
Uh-huh.
Then you have the potassium for the flowering,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm sorry, the phosphorus for the flowering,
Okay.
and then the potassium for the crop.
The
Produce you good
fruits.
crop, yes, produce good crops.
Okay. So after all that, then you harvest.
Yes, we do harvest.
After harvest, during the process of harvesting, how does it look like?
During the process of harvesting, initially as a cooperative, we do sell dry.
Mm-hmm.
We don't sell fresh maize. Though at times we do sell fresh, especially to, permit me call them burning corn women that produce burning corn. Yes,
Yeah.
we do sell to them. But most of the times we do sell dry. But in the case of selling fresh, when you harvest, of course, depending on the size of your farm,
Yes.
You can hire people that can harvest in a day, like workers. They pay, which is 3,000.
Yeah.
But if you want to use them, maybe let me say for the whole day till the work is complete, it's 5,000 francs per person.
Okay.
So they get to harvest, and you get to have someone who is a professional in staking the corn in the bag.
Okay, to pack it.
Yes, pack in the bag and then sews
So
the
so
bag.
wait. So that process is a professional process.
Yes, those are some people, that's their domain. And they take a bag and sew it, that is tie it so that you can carry on a bike or in a car.
How much?
For 500 francs.
500 francs.
Yes, per bag.
Then for drying of the maize, now how do you guys do that?
Well, for drying of the maize, we do transport the maize to the drying unit. Yes, and West Coast Maize Cooperative, it now has a drying unit capacity of that can carry 9 ton maize at once to dry. And we do have, and then after drying, of course, we do the threshing. So normally we do drying of a ton, drying and threshing of a ton of maize. That's 1,000 kilograms of maize at 10,000 francs. But is that you buy your wood? You come with your wood. We are not the ones. Yes, but normally, like in places, since it's based in it now, you can go for the waste palm bunches from the oil mill.
I know when I was young, they used to call it bunch stock.
Yes, bunch stock. So you can go for it, in which it's a bit cheaper. You can get it at 2,000. The double load and the throw and the use, which can dry your maize.
2,000 for a truck?
Yes, for a truck.
You know when I say 2,000, I thought of a bunch.
No, for a truck.
Okay. Then when you do the threshing, you have done the drying, you have done the threshing. Now how do you store the maize?
Well, normally we don't store.
You just sell.
Like I said, before you produce, you should have a market.
Okay.
So we do have, probably at first, we usually sell to brasseries because they use it for beer. We do sell to feed mill producers. We do sell to women that are into pap, that do make pap, for corn. Those ones who sell them in bucket. So we do have those buyers. But I would say our prominent buyers have always been the feed mill buyers. But I don't know if I'm permitted to say this, but I would say that
permitted.
Farmers in Cameroon are suffering in all domains. Because normally, of course, the maize industry is good. There's a lot of money in it because the beer we drink, maize is involved. Yes, the feed
Cameroonians don't take drinking beer very lightly.
Yes, and the feed we feed our birds,
we feed even our
animals. Yes, even the one we eat is from maize. But now the issue is that I don't know if there are policies. Actually, I will not say that. Probably they can be policies, and I'm saying that they are not policies. But if they are actually policies, I would say the policies are not actually.
Or the farmers are not aware that the policies are.
No, they can be aware, but the policies are not implemented. Because I would say there's a lot of exploitation in the farming industry.
That's exploitation at what level?
In terms of pricing, because you will notice that at the end of it all, it is the buyer that actually make the gain out of everything, and not the farmer who produces the stuff. Like we can do a rundown of a calculation. Okay, let's say you get to clear a land for 35,000. That's a hectare of land, and normally a hectare of land takes 15 to 20 packets. So let's say roughly we use 15 packets.
That's of seeds.
And
one
packet you get to plan a packet.
Maybe I should be writing something down so that we are calculating it as we go.
You
say 35,000
to clear
plus.
Now normally, let's say if you're to buy, let's say you went for Pana.
Yes.
The other improved variety. They sell a bag at 70,000. The cooperative sells a bag at 70,000, in which you have 20 packets inside. So automatically you'll be forced to plan all your 20 packets in a hectare. And it might extend.
Okay.
But like I said, in a hectare you get to have 15 to
20
packets, because there are times that normally you have to do infilling. Maybe some did not germinate, you have to replace them. Yes.
Okay. So the packet now costs.
But now, if you're to buy like the foundation seed, the SMS that we do have frequently,
yes,
you get a packet at 1.5. So that's the difference.
Yes.
Now, so if you get a packet at 1.5, and let's say you're buying how many? Let's say 20.
Yeah, you say 20 to 15.
Yes, let's just use 20.
Okay,
let's just use 20. It means you spend, that's 30,000 to get the seed.
So one packet of seed, how much?
A packet of seed, 1.5. Yes, let's work with SMS.
Okay, let's say 1,500 for a packet of seeds.
A packet of seed
times 20 packets. That's 30,000.
That's 30,000. Now
but
you
what about this? Because I know there are other local seeds that they sell for 1,000.
Yes, there are other local seeds, but remember from the beginning I quite mentioned that you should, one of the basic in my 3 units, the 3 stuff I said, I said you sell before you produce. And you should have a good seed, because a bad seed will give you a bad production.
Yeah.
And of course you should have an experience.
Okay,
or you should have an idea of what you want to do.
Okay.
So
idea as in you need to know, that means you need to have an end goal of what you want to do with the maize.
Like have, it's in every domain of life, of course. You don't just jump into something because people are doing it and making money. It means that you should go into it. At least you should like have an idea. If I'm faced with this thing, what do I do? Or you must not be the one who have the idea, but you have someone who has the idea that can always back you up, that if you have this, you should do this.
Okay.
You know, than you don't just know and you just go in and plan, and then at the end you see a situation
and you cannot handle.
You don't know what to do with it. Of course, it means you're working on a loss.
Okay.
And you know, with farming like that, you get to put in money.
Yeah.
And at times you cannot predict what will happen, because you know the universe can do its own natural selection and take away some things.
Yes.
And you are left with what you are left with. So that's what just happened.
So now we are on the 1,500 francs for the seeds.
For the seeds,
that's 30,000.
And you said you get to clear
for
35,000. Normally they do spray a hectare, which is a drum, because a hectare will take a drum, because a drum gives you 15 knapsack sprayers.
Yes. You know that thing was the same thing our teacher in school used to say, that we should not call it matabi, we should call it knapsack sprayer.
Yeah, actually.
And when you call it matabi during farm practice, because it's something that we are used to. When you call it matabi now, you will say, young man, you are calling it matabi, -2 marks, all those type of things. Yeah.
So of course you can have, it gives you some give you like the 120 liters, you can have 12. But if you are working like with the 250 liters, you have 15, which can spray a hectare of land. And to spray a hectare of that drum is 5,000.
Yeah, plus
so
5,000.
A hectare 5,000. Now in that drum we get to do a mixture. We get to do a mixture of 3 liters of systemic herbicide and a liter of 2,4-D.
Okay, in the mixture of
in that drum of water.
Okay, for the spray.
For the spraying.
Okay.
You do a mixture of 3 liters of systemic herbicide and a liter of the 2,4-D.
So 3 liters of systemic.
3 liters, like for example, if you're using Finish or maybe Glycol, down there they buy at 4,000.
Yes.
For 1 liter, so that's 16,000 plus 4,500 for 2,4-D, which is, so that is 20,500
altogether.
Yes, that's 20,500. Then so now after spraying,
we're already entering 90,000.
Yeah, let's keep going. Don't worry, you'll see where I'm going to. So after that, I made mention of the pricing. we buy the seeds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now you get to plant a seed. A packet of seed is planted at 2.5.
2.5.
Yes.
You know, the last time I planted maize, they told me 3,000.
Well, I would say it depends on the region.
Okay.
And it depends too on the nature of your soil.
Okay.
So if the area is quite rough, like maybe stony, in which it's really difficult to
plant.
Yes, so they can charge you 3,000.
Okay.
It does happen.
Okay.
But the normal rate is 2.5.
Okay.
That we do plant, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So 2.5 per packet, and you have 20 packets. So that's 50,000.
So,
Not correct.
50,000.
Yes, that should be 50,000 francs.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Is it 50?
Yeah, 50,000.
Yeah, that should be 50,000.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have that, and you consider that you have to do chemical weeding in that farm. Probably you will need to buy.
I know all of this doesn't have transportation to and fro to the farm.
Yes, I'm still coming. I'm just giving you the basic now. The basic ones that I've named.
Okay.
The basic ones that I've named. And then probably you need to spray, maybe do chemical weeding again. But let's just keep chemical weeding aside.
Yes.
Now let's say you want to buy the fertilizers to apply in the farm. Because sometimes we get to use 2 to 3 bags.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, 2 to 3 bags in the farm. Because with the cost, and then we get to balance it up using foliar fertilizer and super grow.
Yes.
And super grow, because it helps to freshen the leaves and helps to attract more moisture. The super grow.
Okay.
So imagine that you're to buy, let's say, in a hectare, because at that time I cannot tell you that buy this amount of bags.
Okay.
Because you can merge it up with the foliar fertilizer.
Yes.
So let's just assume that you use 3 bags, and a bag is 35,000.
So 3 bags, that's wow.
So you're already on 100 and I think 5,000, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, more than if we just add.
No, I mean for the 3 bags.
Yes.
That's 105,000, if I'm not mistaken.
That's 105,000, and plus the 2,000 we have now is going to 250.
We're already at 250. Yeah, normally you're supposed to get even around 300, 350, or roughly 300, because now the Emacot you're going to buy, or the porcelain or whatever, you can get that one at 2.5.
Yes.
And then 2,025, 2,025, and then you pay that, they should spray it again, 5,000.
Wait, you say for one drum?
For in a drum, because you are going to put that in a drum of water. Okay. So let's say you get the Emacot, 2,000, or the Cayman or whatever, and then you get foliar fertilizer, maybe Good Harvest,
for the same 2,000.
2,025.
That's for 1 kilogram.
Yes.
Okay.
2,025, depends. Some people, depending on how. I'm just giving the bet. Just know that the optimum price can be 2.5.
Oh yeah, let's just put 2.5. You know, when you're budgeting, you need to.
Yes, 2.5, and then the spray 5,000. So that's how much.
The spray 5,000, so we are up to 257,500.
Okay, 257,500. So note that I've not included chemical weeding in it. Now, if you were to sell fresh, of course you are going to buy bags.
Okay.
You're going to buy bags.
But including chemical weeding, it how much?
With chemical weeding, you get to buy, like, let's just say 5 liter of contact.
Okay.
In which you can get it at Gamozon is around 20,000 francs now.
For what?
A 5 liter.
You know, when you said 5, I did not hear well.
Okay.
I thought you meant 1 liter.
No, 5 liter, 5 liter,
Okay.
no, 1 liter. 5 liter.
Okay.
So,
sir, continue.
So that is, don't be afraid. So that is what you have. So let's just assume that, okay, that is what you have spent. Like, let's not go, because now imagine that, okay, you were to sell dry, you include the cost of maybe the drying before the threshing, before you buy.
But you know, I also wanted to say this. These prices are based on you as a cooperative. or I know you as an
You
individual
know,
will not
like
really
in
go
the
into this type of production.
no, actually, what I'm giving you, in my introduction, you quite mentioned that I'm a farm manager and
Yes,
I do manage farms,
yes.
right? So out of that part of the cooperative that I do manage farms, I'm giving you the prices
Okay,
that
okay,
we
okay,
do buy.
okay.
You understand?
Uh-huh.
Because actually, that 35,000 there, the cooperative actually buys at times at 28,500. That's the cooperative buying price.
Okay.
But
Uh-huh.
if I'm buying outside, at times it's from 35,000.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what
That's the
I'm,
fertilizer,
yes,
right?
the
Yeah.
fertilizer. That's what I'm giving you.
Okay.
So imagine that, let's just say that's what you have spent.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not just go detailing. And then at the end, like the issue, what happened this production season in maize in Idi now, because there is a system in which when you plant, there's a unit, a coordination in which you harvest your maize and they transport to Douala, and then they sell, and then
Before they come and pay you.
they, no, at times they can buy there and they carry. At times you send and then the buyer sell and
I
then they
see.
send your money. But now there's a problem because you don't know how much you're selling.
Okay, that's true.
You just sit and you expect money. You don't know how much that buyer is selling. Of course, he must make gain
Mm-hmm.
because he's not there to lose.
Yeah.
But now the truth is that you don't know how much he's making on your head.
Mm-hmm.
Because of recent, it was so bad that they were selling a bag of fresh maize at 3,000.
Okay.
And now, when you go to sell the dry maize, sometimes they buy a kilo at 160, 180, 200, 225, 250. At the peak in which I've sold most is
The
275.
last time I googled about the kilogram of maize
Yeah,
online, it was actually 500 francs.
500 francs. Okay.
So,
So
so when I was doing my calculation, I was like, so if I have to enter inside maize production now, I have 1 ton. 1 ton is, I think, it's about 10,000 kilos.
1,000 kilo.
1,000 kilos.
Yeah.
So when you have that 1,000 kilos times 500 francs, they look at the money that
Okay.
comes there like, I need to enter inside maize production. But when you enter now, you come and start seeing
Yes,
that it's
it's different.
250
It's
and
different from what you're actually seeing outside. So
mm-hmm,
that was why I was saying that the policy system,
mm-hmm.
I know they are actually there, but they are not being implemented.
Okay.
And it's really a call for concern because the farmers are really suffering. Farmers who are meant to be the richest are instead, I will not say poorest, but they are suffering. Because
Okay.
if you do all that, okay, just say that is what you have.
This is about 275.
200,
277 500
okay,
francs.
277,500 francs.
Yes.
And of course, let's say an average farmer was not able to buy, maybe he gets all that stuff and
Mm-hmm.
maybe he did not, some due to some circumstances, some things happen, and he's not able to make up to 2 ton per that hectare.
Yes.
So it means at the end, let's say you have 1,500 kilogram.
You said, wait, 1,500
Kilogram.
kilogram
Let's just say, because
times.
it's really rare for the farmers out there to get to 2 ton, to be sincere,
Okay.
per hectare.
Yeah, that's why I was saying
And
that.
3 ton.
That's why I was asking that. Yeah, these are the standard prices and these are the standard ways in which we produce maize. But I know us in Cameroon here, we have sometimes a local farmer will not have the amount of money to pay to buy a bag of
Yes.
fertilizer.
Yes,
He will
yes.
not want. So sometimes there are some other methods. Do you know some other methods that you can go around producing the maize without actually spending this amount of money?
I think if there are other methods, it means the farmer will have to do more of the job, like
But those are
clearing the farm, spraying the farm,
okay.
and then paying that they should plant.
Okay.
And most times they don't even get to buy the fertilizer due to the high rate of the price. Most of the time they go just for the foliar fertilizer and the super go, in which they get to spray and then they pray for God to give them what God will give. So, but now, like we were saying, that if you get to have all that and then you thresh that maize, and you end up having 1,500 kilo, and then you take to go and sell. Of course, you pay transport to transport the maize, and assuming that you're going to transport a bag of 100 kilogram, because when you fill a bag of 100 kg, you are in between 120 to 140 kilo. You fill a bag of 100 kg. So you will notice that, let's see, you have that 1,500 kilo now, and maybe the selling price, they are selling at, like I said, the highest price in which they get to sell is 275, and that is during, like, in the heart of rainy season.
Yes.
Where you know that dry maize is really. So let's say, like now, the selling price now ranges between 220, 225 for dry maize. Yes, for dry maize.
If we are taking 220, 225,
yes,
so it means 1,500 kilos
times 225
times 225. Wait, let me count. 225. 337,000.
337.
What are we getting?
No, good.
We had, I think.
Not, we did not put the cost of transportation.
Yeah, we have not put in transportation. We did not put in drying. Yes. We did not put in chemical within.
Yes. And these are the things that, most of our farmers, they just produce, and then what comes out, they don't really take time to keep records of
what they are producing,
of what they have spent, to actually know if they did make a gain or a loss.
They made a loss.
Yes. Most, I will not say all, but most, they don't do that. They just produce that whatever comes out, we sell, and what we have at hand, we try to use. And you will notice that with such system, you notice that the farmer will keep turning at the same point or be in debt.
Okay.
So that is why you hear me saying that the policies are not actually being implemented.
But there's this thing, what about the transformation of the maize? Can it not generate more income?
If you are to transform.
Okay.
If you are to transform, you can actually make more income.
That's something more significant than this.
Yes, you can actually, like, maybe you own a feed mill or something.
Okay.
Which maybe.
No, let's take it. No feed mill. Setting up a feed mill is something that needs some amount of money.
Or let's just go locally.
Yeah,
producing pap.
Because I know farmers who will be watching this will be like, Mama, I know if you buy that bag fertilizer. Because with the farmers I used to work with, like, when it comes to pests, they used to use wood ash.
Yes.
What they do is they sprinkle wood ash at the middle part of the maize plant when it's still maybe about this young, or maybe this young here. So they sprinkle wood ash there. I interviewed the farmer, like, Mom, why are you doing that? She said she does that because that she said the first thing is that she doesn't have money to buy insecticide. So that wood ash now also acts as an insecticide to kill the stem borer. So I was like, how does wood ash kill stem borer? So it's really something that someone needs to look at. Those are some of the practices that they do, so that they cut down on cost and all those stuff.
That's always been the biological method. They always tell you that you should always try the biological method, and if it doesn't work, before you go for the chemical method.
No, but your production is.
But now, if you're working in a large, imagine applying wood ash in a hectare of land. You can imagine.
Yeah, but now, those women, they did it in a small area.
Yeah, in a small scale, and it does work. I think wood ash contain is it HCl or nitrogen something, if I have not forgotten.
Okay.
Yes, it does contain something that is very active.
Okay.
Like, if you get to mix it with even foul droppings, it's very effective and good for your crops. Yes.
As a fertilizer or
as a fertilizer.
Okay.
At the same time, it gets as a treatment, not a pest.
As a treatment.
Treatment for a pest.
Okay, treatment.
Yes. So it's very important. But now, of course, this our new maize season coming out every day. Everybody's bringing their own
Mm-hmm.
type of disease into the environment,
Yeah.
and you cannot really go and depend more on wood ash.
Okay.
So you have to spray. You have to spray. But now, one of the best way in which farmers can actually really make money
Mm-hmm.
out of corn is if they get to, in fact, in all produce, not even just in maize, is if they get to really transform their
The
products
okay.
to end products.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that is where you can really see the money.
Okay.
You can really see the money. That is because the policies are not really being implemented to favor the farmers.
Okay.
But if the policies are really being implemented to favor the farmers don't really actually need to get to the end product.
Yeah,
They
they
can
just can just
produce
sell and
and
another
sell.
person
Yes,
continue as the end
yes.
product.
So you see, that's it's a really a big problem. It's really a big
Mm-hmm.
problem in Cameroon that really needs to be look upon.
Okay, okay. But now, how you have talked a lot about the maize production. You have talked a lot about the pest and disease, and we have gone to harvesting, and we've touched a lot about maize production in
Yeah.
general. But now, what when you harvest that maize, what are some of the things you do with the maize apart from feed for fowls or livestock, as you mentioned? What are some of the other things you do with the maize?
Well, for us, it has always been to sell. That has been the outcome. We don't transform to anything. We just sell.
Okay, I mean when you sell
Or do
what?
you mean maybe the different products we can have from
Yes,
corn?
from corn, yeah.
Well, you can have corn flour.
Mm-hmm.
We call it fufu corn, in which there are some people who use it to make they call it akra, beignet, something like that in French.
Yes.
You make pap.
Mm-hmm.
You can sell for corn beer. There are people who make our local beer we call shia.
Mm-hmm.
You can
Is
sell
it sha or shia?
shia,
Okay.
and you can sell to food vendors. Of course,
Okay.
they get to use it to cook corn chaff. Get to use it to cook cocky corn,
Okay,
stuff like
okay,
that.
okay.
So it does depend on what the producer, the transformer want to do with it. The person transform it to end
Voila, the
product. Yeah.
final consumer
Yes.
who wants
So
to.
that's not really our deal, our big deal. But again, maize really have a lot of I would say interests
Mm-hmm.
or opportunities, or you really have a lot of streams that can give you income, because like after threshing the maize, the cob, it can be sold because they can grind them and use it in the production of mushroom, because
Okay.
it acts as substrate in
Okay.
which you can use to produce mushroom.
Mm-hmm.
But again,
Many farmers don't know that.
they don't know that because
And is
I
that they
would
are not
say
being
the
told.
agricultural sector, permit me say, is not working.
When you say it's not working, this is that we're not eating or
No, we are eating naturally, we are eating normally,
mm-hmm.
agreed. But we are living in a society, or I would say in a world, that all of us are after money. We're after cap.
Yes.
Having the skills is good, but having the business idea about the stuffs you want to do
Mm-hmm.
is what makes like the god or the final thing about it.
Okay.
Because if you just have the skills and you don't know how to actually market what you have, there's a very big problem.
Okay.
So it's that aspect in which me I'm more concentrated on,
Yeah.
the
Okay.
business side of it, because it's all about bringing in money, investing some, and using some for your own personal
Yes.
activities.
Yes.
But if it's not able to generate you income, and there are no policies that are backing you up with producing
Mm-hmm.
to really make you feel comfortable in what you're doing,
Yes.
of course there are two things involved.
Mm-hmm.
You tend to start stealing, or you want to use more of illegal means. Like I can say those are one of the things that is making farmers to go more into the use of fertilizers
Okay.
to
Because they want
fasten the
more.
growth of the crop so that they can sell faster, and then whatever comes in, which
Okay.
is really detrimental to our health.
Okay.
Because take for example, you have two farmers. One is producing vegetable naturally, another one is producing vegetable using fertilizer. But when they take to the market, the two posts at the same price. So there is no policy that differentiate that no, this person that has produced naturally
should sell at this
sell at
price.
this higher price. This person that has produced using more fertilizer should sell at this price.
Okay.
Or there is like a fixed price, like a kilogram of maize after production will be sold in Cameroon at this price. Nothing less than, like, you have a break-even price in which you don't go less than. You wish if you, because normally if you go less than, it's going to cause a lot of problem.
Okay.
And then and then you should not be too much.
So but now with that case, would farmers not instead want to cut down on their costs so that they can maximize that?
No, you cannot cut down on your cost because you are not the one producing the fertilizer. You will actually go and buy at that same price.
You actually go and buy the inputs. Actually not buying the fertilizer, like using, or there are other ways to fertilize the soil without using fertilizer.
Yes, there are other ways, but how many farmers do that?
Okay.
Because most farmers, how many farmers, of course, in Cameroon, have you seen them applying just foul droppings in their farm? Okay. Or making use of maybe mycorrhizas in their farms?
Okay.
Except maybe for some farmers that can plant, they can plant their maize with association maybe with soybeans. Of course, you know that the green crops, they get to attract nitrogen, which helps the plants to grow well and do well. So except they are doing that, in which can actually help the plants to do well in association with soybeans.
No, but okay, if talking about association, if you associate that, can you have the same amount of the same yield as when
you can have the same and even a better yield.
Okay.
And if you do fertilizer, foliar fertilization, because the thing is that when you get to apply this our NPK and urea like that, you get to lose about 70 to 80%
of the
nutrient.
Of the nutrients.
Yes, of the fertilizer that you apply. So at the end, just about 10 to 20% is taken up by the plant.
Where does the rest go?
The atmosphere. It's salt, it gets to evaporate.
Okay, but they don't cover it.
Even if you cover, you get to lose about 70 to 80%.
Okay.
So that is why you see people now, more ideas are coming up, like maybe implementing by using mycorrhizas in your farm, maybe certain bacteria, maybe going more into crops that can crops association of crops that can help.
Okay.
Maybe they boost one crops to do well and stuff like that. Yeah.
So, but why do you think farmers don't do the association if maybe they know that?
Well, like I said, the idea, probably the idea is not there, and that's because I would say again that the policies in the country are not working the way they are supposed to work, because we are supposed to have maybe trainings, maybe there are some information that can go around to really sensitize these farmers on actually how to get to produce. Maybe if I cannot buy that bag of 35,000, maybe I can use this my other method, because at the same time you will gain soybeans, you will gain your maize. Yes, I can use this other method. If I cannot get maybe foul droppings to use as manure, I can do this and I'll have this.
Okay, then what about you said the association, we are not really getting that information, or farmers have not even been told that they can.
Not that they are actually, I would say that the ratio
for the farmers who know,
the farmers to probably a technician is too much. Like you can have
more people to tell the farmers.
You can have maybe a technician to about even 1,000 farmers, in which is very difficult. Even if you want to do group
follow up and
follow up, is very difficult.
Okay.
But if you had maybe a technician to maybe 10 or 20, it's possible. But now in that case, there are some groups that you will never follow up, because of course in every group you have the fast learners, you have the middle, and then you have the laggers. Those are waiting that no, let it happen before we come.
So now all of this is also maybe frightening me if I want to enter this. I'll be like,
not only a maize, I think the only crop now which is actually smiling now in Cameroon is cocoa.
Yeah, that's something discussion for some other time. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's something that is really something that people are discussing about.
Yes, I think that's the only crop that is smiling now.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe since I made mention it, you will notice that the price of cocoa has not changed
Yes.
in the world market.
Mm-hmm.
It's still the same price. But now they are buying at 5,000. The buyers are still buying at 5,000. So what happened that there's no increase in price
At the
of
world
them,
market,
but they are still buying now at
they are
that
still
price.
buying at that price.
Though we know that there are a lot of things that happen probably in Cote d'Ivoire and Ghana. Yes, we know that.
Yeah.
But why were they buying at 1,000, maybe 700?
Yeah, I know there was a time they bought 700 for it.
Yes, and with cocoa, it is a crop in which you have just one outcome. You must sell.
Mm-hmm. You cannot.
You cannot eat it.
Yes.
Even goat cannot eat the leaves. You have just one outcome. You have to sell it because even if you say that I want to do transformation to chocolate,
Yeah,
cocoa,
the process is
they,
yeah.
our people now, they can just come and one tax out can carry even your
Okay.
house and go with it.
Okay. Okay.
So,
So, but as maize is concerned, what are the things we have not talked about? Are there anything we have not talked about as compared to maize
mm,
production?
I think we have touched everything except maybe there is something I've not talked on, but I think I've touched everything from the itinerary
Mm-hmm.
and every step. But the truth is that what we actually have on book on paper
Yeah,
is different from what
it's been
is in the
practiced.
field.
Okay.
That's just a blank truth
Okay.
in every crop as far as agriculture is concerned in Cameroon. What you have on paper is different from what is found in the field.
And what are you telling now the, let's say, the government delegates or ministers to?
Well, actually, they know what to do.
Okay.
I will not say that they don't know what to do. They know what to do. Like I did mention of the fact of what happened in Italy now, in which they were buying a bag of maize at fresh maize at 30,000.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because I don't see how I should harvest my maize and then I give to certain people to go and sell, in which I don't know how much they are selling, and then I'm waiting that it should come out. It doesn't make sense.
Okay.
I should be able to tell you that, of course, this is the total production I've made. This is the total number of bags that I've harvested. I take that total money and divide by the total number of bags I've made. And I know a price in which if I go below that price, I'll not be able to make my money back.
Yes.
And then from there, I should know that, okay, if I'm to sell to make the money that I've used in my production system,
Mm-hmm.
it should be this amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
In that case, you see that you are on the verge of really doing what you like.
Yes.
But in a case where you just produce and then it is some people that come and determine how
How much
much
you're
they are
supposed
going to
to
buy your
buy the
product,
maize? Yes.
it's really aching at times. It's really aching.
Yeah, as a farmer, that's
Yes,
true.
in all aspects, because it's like you take time and work a plantain farm and they carry a very big bone of plantain in the market and they tell you that I'm buying that plantain at 2,000,
Which normally is supposed to be.
maybe 5,000 francs.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So you see that it's really something that I think they they really need to look into it.
Well, guys, you have heard everything we have talked about maize production from beginning, from land preparation. We have taken up to harvesting. We have also entered the dynamics of what maize is being used for and the pests that affect maize and everything that has to do with maize production in Cameroon. So this is Mr. Abeng Magnus with us, and he has given us his own experience on how maize is being produced. He is going to come back again to maybe talk about poultry production and some other crop that he is very versed in the production process and everything that has to do with that crop. So from there, this is all for today. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.